Hello and welcome to this introductory video to Google Maps. Now in this video we'll show you how to get to Google Maps and give you a basic tour of the things that you'll find once you get there and what they do. Okay, to start with, if you're on any Google property such as Google Search or Calendar or Google Docs, G Suite, whatever, you'll find this app launcher in the upper right hand corner. Now that's a box made up of 9 other boxes, and clicking on that you should be able to scroll through and find maps pretty easily. Clicking on that will open it in a new tab, so I still have my Google search window here. But alternately, if I was not at a Google property, if I was at a different site and I wanted to get there, I'm not going to have that Google app launcher. Know that the addresses for Google products follow a very similar pattern. So if I were to type maps.google.com, that would redirect me to Maps. Okay, and that pattern holds true for a lot of the different Google tools. So if I wanted to go to Google Drive, I could go to drive.google.com. If I wanted to go to Calendar, I could go to calendar.google.com. So just something interesting to know. Of course, if you prefer to go to Google and use the app launcher, that's perfectly fine. Now, let's take a quick tour of the basic environment. First of all, you notice by default it's certain view opens. If you have Location Finder on, it's going to open to a view in your area. And it gives you the streets and also some basic points of interest that it identifies. So if you see here, here's Uncle Giuseppe's Marketplace. If I mouse over, it gives me a picture and actually has some reviews I could access if I wanted to. Here is a restaurant. Same thing, a rating, some reviews, picture, and a quick description of what this is. And you can see Chipotle is over here. This is the Interstate Plaza, so a shopping mall, Don Bosco Preparatory School. So points of interest that it finds on the map. Okay, let's start in the upper left. The first thing you'll notice is that it opens with a search box, and you can see that these are searches that I've done recently. So recent searches may appear here. If you were to click on one of those recent searches, it would just repeat it for you. Okay, you do have a menu over on the left, and we're going to get into all the different options here in another video, but know that this hamburger icon, the 3 lines, would open up a menu for you to access other aspects of the map. This icon on the right is for directions. So if we click on that, it would bring you to a point where you could use Google Maps to get directions to where you were going, and we'll look at this in a separate video. To close this, you'll use the X in the upper right corner. Now, over on the right side of the screen, you have your standard icons. You have at almost any Google property. This is your app launcher, in case you're done with Maps and need to go to another application. Here are your notifications. If you have this turned on, you may get different messages from Google as reminders for things that you might want to do. You have your standard login icon, so you can sign out here if you're signed in. You can sign into a different account using Add Account. You can go to the your particular account, so if you click on that, it's going to bring you into the Security Center. And in addition, you can also, this is one place you can go to change your icon. So if you clicked here, you could upload a new photo, which is nice, especially if you have multiple accounts. You can quickly identify your account by the icon you use. Others will see it as well. This is Google Plus Profile. I'm not going to go into that. And here are also your privacy settings. Okay, in the lower right hand corner you have some tools. The plus sign lets you zoom in to get closer. The minus sign zooms you out. An alternate and probably easier way to zoom in and out is simply to move your mouse wheel. So if I spin that wheel towards myself, you can see that I'm zooming way out. And if I move that mouse wheel, or if I roll it away from myself, I'm zooming back in. And now I'm back in the same basic area I was before. Okay, below that is the imagery bar. So if I click on that, it's going to show me some pictures that people have posted of things right in the area of the map that I'm looking at. So here is, let's see if there's anything of interest here. Notice as I mouse over things, a little line appears on the screen that shows me the approximate location. This is dependent on the geolocation of the pictures that have been uploaded. So note that it's not always perfectly accurate, but it gives you some kind of indication of where it is. So this is the Best Western. If I click on that, it brings me to the image. It shows me the image in a larger view, obviously. Tells me what it is and gives me a link. So now if I were to click on this, it opens a new window, brings me right to the same picture. Okay, who posted the photo date, so this was 2014. You have a couple of options here. You could print the photo if you really wanted, report a problem, or share it. Now sharing it will simply give you the appropriate URL. So if you were to take this address and share it with somebody, they would get to this picture as well. There is an option here to use the short URL. So if you click that, it creates this shortened URL with goo.gl. You'll always see that in here, and that's just a little less cumbersome than a long one. The long one's including the latitude and longitude, etc. So the only possible issue with a shortened URL, and it doesn't happen everywhere, is that sometimes firewalls, like in a school setting, can be blocked, can be set to block shortened URLs. So something to test out in your own district if you're planning to share something. Any kind of link with a shortened URL is to check that out first. A lot of times it's not a problem, but just know that it can be. You can use this arrow to return to the map. And then if you see these little camera icons here showing your pictures, this circular icon here is showing you a place where the Google car is actually taking a picture. And then now this gives you a 360 view. You can see the bank over here, street, commercial buildings, etc. So when you see that icon, you have the ability to do that. You may be able to go up quite a ways and down also. Notice with this icon, I can use that to actually drive. So I'm spinning this around now, and I'm going to drive down this street. So we can take the same route that the Google car took when it took these pictures. So kind of interesting for kids. And occasionally interesting, you can take a look at what's around in the neighborhood. Okay, the lower left-hand corner is simply an icon that brings you to satellite view. So occasionally pictures are taken and updated. Some of them are quite old, and you can actually zoom in here. And this can be kind of fun because you can zoom in pretty far. Well, this looks like a commercial space, so I'm going to assume that this was on a weekend or something because the parking lot is pretty empty here. But you can move around and see different things. Kids like to explore this, at least in the beginning, and they can find their own house. So here's a house with someone's got a boat and a car in the front yard. Okay, to turn that off, you just simply click the icon again, and you'll be back in this view. And we can zoom back out. Okay, that's a basic tour of the tools that are available, basic tools that are available on the main screen of Google Maps. Know that you can grab, I'm clicking and dragging now, so that's one way to navigate. And remember that by rolling your mouse wheel in and out, you can also reposition the map very, very quickly.